Well, that is it for the notices, but I have to say, you can't see round at the side, but we've got 3 people dressed looking rather odd. So could you come out and explain yourselves, please? See these people dressed in rather strange attire, where you can be seen. Claire, would you like to explain why you're dressed like that?
Well, frankly, in terms of normal winter conditions for St Helens, I'm not dressed at all unusually, I don't think. I think most of us, come the winter months, get out all our woolies and our thermals and all the rest of it, because, frankly, it gets rather cold in here, Richard. And so, on behalf of all of those of us who regularly freeze in St Helens in winter, we'd like to know, what's the plan?
Well, thank you, Claire, for pointing out that it is a little bit chilly in St Helens sometimes. In fact, we know some people stayed away from church for at least a couple of months in the winter. People who would normally regularly come stayed away in the winter because it gets so cold. And I remember being here on one Sunday when, after the heating had been on for 5 hours, it had reached almost 6 degrees. So there is a need for us to do something. I know that, as you say, people get out their thermals. I even know someone who straps a hot water bottle to them in order to keep warm. And those are not normal things to do. So our plan, after many years of talking about it, after much thinking and careful negotiation, could we have a drum roll for this? Our plan is to install a new heating system!
But what is actually wrong with the present system? Why have we got to this point?
Well, if people, I have been told by a number of people that there isn't a need for a new heating system. I tend to disagree with them. If you're sat in one of the pews and the under-pew heaters have been on for several hours, you won't actually freeze. However, the way we use the building has changed. We don't just use it for an hour and a half on Sunday, it's used every day of the week pretty much. And the heating system, inadequate as it is in the wrong place. So it's fine for being in the pews on a Sunday morning, but if you're in the middle here for Tots time, or if you're in the creche, or in the choir area, or at coffee in the chancel, or at one of the many other events we have during the week, it's of no benefit at all. So we desperately need a new heating system to be in the right place and to provide a constant temperature throughout the week. So we've got a simple solution. This won't sound like rocket science to any of you. The plan is run a gas main from the high street to the vestry, put a boiler in the vestry and put radiators around the church. That sounds simple enough to do, doesn't it? Well, we've got a team who have planned to do it.
Richard, what are we going to get for our money? What sort of heating system are we going to have? What will it mean for our church? And most importantly, will I be able to wear my shorts to church in the winter?
Stephen, it seems you can wear your shorts to church whenever because that's who you are. But we're not planning to turn the church into a sort of subtropical greenhouse. We're planning a steady, constant temperature throughout the week, and then we'll boost it for key events, such as Coffee in the Chancellor and Tots Time and the Art Group and our Sunday worship. But particularly we're doing this so that we can benefit the whole community who use St Helen's Church and provide that benefit for the whole of the next generation. It's a long-term investment to make a real difference because the use of the building underpins our mission initiatives. The building is not just here for our benefit on Sunday morning, but as a resource for the community. And that's especially important now that the social club has been sold for development and the United Church Hall has been closed. As other resources diminish, the care for St Helens and its availability to the community is increasingly important.
So Richard, what happens next?
Thank you, Helen. Well, we have gone a long way down the road of getting all the approval we need. but there are final approvals that we still need to get in terms of a faculty to do the work. There's finance, it's a long-term investment, a big capital investment, which will make for the whole benefit of the community, for the next generation, and to glorify God. And there's a lot more detailed planning work to do, because when we put the heating system in January, we'll be homeless as a church congregation for probably about 2 months. So we're going to need to find somewhere else to worship, and somewhere else for top time, and somewhere else for all the other things we do. So those are the next steps.
And seeing as we're the people who are going to benefit, what can we do to support this idea?
Thank you for asking that. We would love the support of the whole congregation and the whole community. And you can support us in 3 ways. Pray for the project, and I think it's something that's close to many people's hearts, so do pray for it to be successful. Plan to be generous. We're going to, when we've got the final approvals, we're going to have a gift day and ask the congregation and the community to be generous in helping to finance this. And the third thing is, you know that if you leave the detailed planning to me, it'll be a disaster. So, there are some of you who are really good at detailed planning. Would you join a team to help us to plan, to make sure we think of everything we need to think of, so that this is a great success, and so that in the time that we're not in the church, the worship of God's church can continue. So, Hilary, Stephen, Claire, you can take off your winter boots, and you can hopefully, when we get back into the church at Easter time, you won't need them in quite the same volume ever